No job? Just quit your 9 to 5? Good, because this video is going to explain the 6 steps that you are going to need to make $100 a day, $200 a day, whatever income, desired number you are thinking about right now online. And so listen up, because I have a great program for you, because I noticed a lot of you on this channel are in this position where you're transitioning from a 9 to 5 to becoming your own boss, becoming an entrepreneur, or maybe you're working a part-time job and starting your online business. This video is going to be the only tutorial that you need. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Marissa Romero, and if you're in a position like I was at all about 4 years ago, I remember in March of 2017 is when I made that call. That call that would end essentially what I had worked for my entire, teenage and adult life, where I had gone to high school, graduated with honors. I went to college, graduated with a civil engineering degree, and then I got a master's degree in construction engineering, all the while to give that up when I was like 27, 28 years old and say goodbye to my career. It was crazy. But in March of 2017, I had to make that call to a woman I actually really respected a lot. She had helped me in my career tremendously, and no one in my office when I was a civil engineer, no one knew what was coming. Like, they had no clue that I wanted to even be an entrepreneur. They thought like my career was young, that I was going to be a bridge engineer for a while and work my way up, advancing in the Department of Transportation. And so when I was gonna call and tell her I was leaving my 9 to 5, I was freaking out. Like, my hands were super sweaty, my heart was beating super fast, I was super emotional. I'm just like, oh my goodness. It was really hard. And so I called and I was like, hey, thank you so much for everything, but this is my 5-day notice, I'm quitting. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah. It's this feeling that you can't really describe unless you're in the moment and you're doing it. I mean, a lot of you can probably relate to this. And as a matter of fact, if you can relate to a phone call where you're calling your boss and being like, look, I'm done, here's my 2-week notice, I'm out. Let me know in the comments, comment your experience of when you quit your 9 to 5. I'd love to hear the story. But essentially it's, something that you have to be extremely brave. I mean, you're really taking the leap. You are telling someone that you're going in a completely different direction than you thought you were going to go and what your life originally looked like. Like, I originally thought that I would retire at age 62 and work my way up and eventually hope and pray that one day I would make 6 figures working for the government. So, it's a huge life transition. And so that first step obviously is to do it, is to make that call and to eventually make that jump into business owner land, entrepreneur land. And what's crazy about this whole thing is that once you make that jump and you're ready to be on your own and you're ready to take off the training wheels of the 9 to 5, you wake up the next morning and you're like, oh shit. You're like, oh my God, I am on my own. Then 30 days later, reality sets in because you have no benefits, you're no longer insured, you have no more health insurance, and then you're like, crap, I'm all on my own now. This is definitely different than what I thought, because the good thing about a job and a 9 to 5 is you had some type of structure before. You had a schedule, you had to be there at a certain time, and you left at a certain time. So now all that is taken away and you are on your own, baby. And so the next step, and really the very first step that should be established when you don't have a job anymore and you're trying to establish revenue goals quick, is you need to get your productivity in line. This is so essential. You have to develop those habits and those routines that are going to move the needle forward in producing income. How do you do that? Well, I do it, and my entire team does it with a tool called Asana. Asana is completely for free. I don't have any affiliate link, just go to asana.com. It is a web-based app. It is also a mobile app, so you can download it on iOS or Droid. And it's really cool because it's not only free to get started, but it'll help you map out your life. This is where you can organize and centralize everything that you need to do for your new business and also for your personal life. Every single thing in my life goes into Asana. Meetings, appointments, income producing activities. I have different categories of my business that I categorize in Asana. And I also have a category for personal, so things I can keep track of at the same time, like paying rent, bills, maybe I have physical therapy, maybe I have Spanish class, all mixed into the sales and marketing and things that I know that I have to get done for my business. And whether you're just on your own or maybe you're hiring your first team member, this is great to get this set up from the start, because once you have this systemized, it'll be really great, because then you can assign tasks to other people, you can see their progress, and you can even tag people and comment different things to your team members. It's so awesome. And this is definitely something I wish I would have had from day one back in 2017 when I left my 9-to-5, because I was all over the place, right? Because you think that when you quit your 9-to-5 that you're going to have like all this time recuperated and you're going to have all this time back. It's exactly the opposite. The days are gonna go by faster. You're gonna get overwhelmed because now you have to do this, and that. You have to, form an LLC, and you have to apply for this and get a business loan and get a website, just all this stuff. You're like, oh my goodness. Like, this is all crashing down at me at once, and it does. It's like, boom. You wanna be an entrepreneur? Well, here's a pile of responsibilities to go along with it. Congratulations. Okay, and so before we move on to the next step, I have a very special announcement about a brand new product that has launched this week, and the name of it is called BizTuber. Now, what does this even mean? It's short for business YouTuber. Now, I invite you to check out this new workshop that I created. Basically, it's going to break down every single thing you need to know to start your profitable online business by leveraging what you're watching right now, and that is the YouTube platform. Now, the reason I created this product at a price that you're actually going to love, and today actually is the last day that it is 15% off, so be sure to check it out in the description or go to thebiztuber.com. But the reason I created the BizTuber is because there's so many foundational things that not only new business owners and new YouTubers miss that has to be established first. This is going to get you so much clarity on the profitable business models, not only the profitable business models, but the business models that have passive income potential and major scalability potential. This is something that back in the day, I wish I knew right away in 2017, so I could know like what my time involvement is going to be in the business that I want to choose. This would have helped me get major clarity in what direction I wanted to go, because honestly, for example, the first business model that I did do in the beginning was e-commerce, and I got completely burnt out because my time was so involved. I was working 16 hours a day and I was burnt out. And so with the BizTuber, it'll show you, not only in my opinion, the best business models that are high impact and high income, it'll also show you how you can start to monetize YouTube from day one, from video one. You don't have to wait to get monetized with Google AdSense, or you don't have to wait for these big, crazy, expensive brand deals. You can start monetizing from day one and have your monetization plan in place from the beginning. And another reason I created this product was because there's so many YouTube gurus out there, no shame on them. I respect everyone who's a YouTuber. However, so many people emphasize growing a YouTube channel, going viral, getting subs and views and this and that. That's cool and all, but I think it's a little bit intimidating, especially when you're a brand new YouTuber, a small YouTuber that's just getting started with your first few hundred subs. What must be emphasized is the monetization, and especially having a plan that's solid and how you will start to produce income sooner rather than later. So the income and monetizing and making money with YouTube should not have to wait until months from now, right? You can start to do it from the beginning. And this is everything that I break down for you in BizTuber. It's a workshop tutorial that you can consume in less than an hour and have everything set up and planned really within a day, within a couple hours. So I really hope you enjoy the product. Again, grab it today. It is 15% off on top of the insanely affordable price. So go ahead and check that out in the description below, and I will see you inside the BizTuber tutorial. All right, so the next step in producing the income that you want after you quit your 9-to-5 is to deal with your debt. This isn't a sexy topic whatsoever, and it sucks to talk about, especially in the case where, okay, so in my example, I went into, entrepreneur land, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm here. I did have some cash saved up. I had savings. Not only that, I cashed out my retirement account plan. It was called a TSP, but for those of you, most people know of like a 401k or whatever it is in your country. So I had a good chunk of change from that, cashed it all out. I took out a bunch of credit cards. So I had some capital to work with. And guess what? This chick spent it all, and way more than that. Like, I spent it all, and I just spent more than I had, more money than I had. It was such a bad financial decision, something that, you know, a few years, 4 years later, I'm here making a YouTube video and telling you guys, handle your debt, okay? And don't get into debt if you are thinking about going wild and spending things that maybe you think you need, but you probably do not. I mean, I spent money on coaching, trainings, expensive masterminds that I did not need, Facebook ads, oh my gosh, you name it, I spent it. I was crazy. I was a crazy girl up there. But, you know, don't feel bad if you are in debt, and don't feel bad if you have a bad credit score, because my credit score was super in the dumps. I mean, I had a great credit score my whole life. It plummeted down to like in the 400s. It was really, really scary. And so, you know, I got into debt when I became an entrepreneur instead of, you know, getting out of debt, instead of like paying off my student loans and all that. So I would advise, this is really important, is to chop away at that debt. I would start with the high interest credit cards or high interest loans that you have first, because those are going to do the most damage. So I would pay off those more aggressively for sure. I would try to be as liquid as possible. So any purchases that you make, do it with a debit card or do it with the amount of money that you have in your bank account right now. Don't put it on a credit card, especially if your credit card has high interest and it has a high balance. I would attack those first, okay? And this is why it's also a good thing to, you know, have money saved up and have, you know, a reserve, an emergency fund saved up once you leave the 9-to-5, because if you have like 6 months solid of money saved up, I would start with the high interest credit cards or high interest loans that you have first, because those are going to do the most damage. So I would pay off those more aggressively for sure. I would try to be as liquid as possible. So any purchases that you make, do it with a debit card or do it with the amount of money that you have in your bank account right now. Don't put it on a credit card, especially if your credit card has high interest and it has a high balance. I would attack those first, okay? And this is why it's also a good thing to, you know, have money saved up and have, you know, a reserve, an emergency fund saved up once you leave the 9-to-5, because if you have like 6 months solid of money saved up so that you can prepare in the scenario where you make no money for 6 months, then you're good. And this is something that I didn't understand, or maybe I did understand, but I refused to do. And so now I do have an emergency fund saved up in my business, and it feels good. And just to make this story a little bit more motivational, it is possible to pay off your debt. I was, you know, around $80,000 in credit card debt. I still had student loans. I smashed that. I mean, once I was able to start producing revenue in my business, I aggressively paid off as much as I could. So now, you know, I am completely 100% credit card debt free. Like, I'm pretty proud to say that right now. And I only have like $7,000 left in student loan debt. And I'm just taking my time because Biden, he's giving us more time. So I'm like, look, I'll pay it off later. So there's no interest and no penalty on that. But yeah, so within a couple months, I completely plan to be debt free, and it feels good to come up here on this video and tell you guys that it ends. The dip, whatever hardship you're going through financially, will end. It's temporary. Everything in life is temporary, but I just wanted to make sure that I come up here and explain that part about being debt free, because without that solid financial foundation, it's hard to build up wealth, and it's hard to really generate the income that you want, because you're going to need to invest in things like online business tools, eventually a team member, and you want to have as much capital as possible when you're starting out. After you quit the 9-to-5 is to choose your focus. Our focus and our decisions throughout the week are everything, okay? And also our energy, okay? Our energy is our number one asset throughout the week, and with things that we just have to get done. If your energy is low, if you're exhausted, if you are focusing on so many things at one time, then nothing's going to get results. So what I do every single week is I establish my top 3 goals for the week, okay? Most of these, all of these goals have something to do with producing income. And I establish these goals and I say, hey, if anything, I will get these 3 things done this week, and I make sure that they are manageable. So for example, let's say you are getting into a group coaching, like your business model that you're choosing is group coaching. Maybe some of the tasks that you have to do this week are you have to reach out to at least 10 different people on LinkedIn. You have to get your new lead magnet ready. And maybe you're working on your new website. You know, there's so many different website builders out there where you can get a brand new website up, you know, within just a couple of hours. And so those are examples of things that are doable and things that are going to move the needle forward. I mean, you're getting your website set up. You are reaching out to potential clients. What was the other thing I said? I don't remember, but you get the point. And so these are the types of things that I outline in the beginning of the week. And I'm like, okay, if anything else doesn't get done, these 3 things will get done. And so the other thing when I talk about focus, that's what you have to do, is you have to focus on one thing. That's what made me get into major debt, and that's what made me not produce the income that I wanted to right away, is because I was not focused. Okay, I was, just distracted by all kinds of things. I was, people would call me and say, hey Marissa, so-and-so's having a get together tonight, you want to come? Yeah, like I'm free. I'm an entrepreneur now. Yeah, I can go. And people would, other friends that I had in the industry, they'd call and say, hey Marissa, guess what? I heard about this mastermind, and I heard about this training, and I heard about this coach. Do you want more information? Do you want to blah, blah, blah? I'm like, yeah. I would say yes to everything. That was the worst thing I could have done. And that's what's so important, is just learning how to stay in your lane and say no and protect your energy and protect what you're doing every single week. Because if you are having a really bad shiny object syndrome in the beginning, it's not going to be a good thing. And because in the beginning you kind of think like, man, am I doing the right thing? Is there something else or another business model or another method to make money that's going to help me make money faster? And that's where you fall into this trap of, maybe actually I made the wrong decision. Maybe I should switch to this. No, just be confident, because here's a secret that I wish I would have known in the beginning, is that everything works. Whether you want to do whatever business model you choose, everything works. Every single thing works. And you just have to have the confidence in yourself to follow through with one project at a time, and just to keep on going and to stay in your lane. So the next step in all of this is to pick a profitable niche. And I say profitable niche because in every single business model that's out there, there has to be a niche, no matter what. I was just looking yesterday at a company called Glam, what's the name? It's an eyelash company called Glam something, like Glamific, I think. Oh no, Glamnetic. They have basically magnetic eyelashes. And the girl, there's 2 owners of it right now, but the girl who founded it, she's incredible. Like, it's so crazy how, like, her and her now partner in the business, they're making like $50 million a year from some damn eyelashes. But they know their niche, okay? So they know the pain points of their customers, and they know like how to market their product. And so it's the same thing for you when you are getting started with your business model online. It's like you have to identify the niche. This is so important. So whether you're creating an online course, whether you are doing coaching, whether you're choosing e-com, you have to pick a niche. And to me, I say profitable niche. One thing that always makes a niche more profitable is what you are solving. The bigger the problem that people have, whether it's in their relationship, whether it has to do with their health, whether it has to do with their wealth, the bigger the problem, the more revenue potential that there is on the table. Because when it comes to, we've all seen the Maslow's hierarchy of different needs that everyone has. It's that pyramid where at the bottom, it's like everyone's basic needs, and then you move up and it's like safety needs. And then at the top, it's like self-actualization needs. So the needs are different at every level. But the point is, if you can solve something on that table of needs, whether it's something that has to do with wealth, losing weight, meditation, yoga. Maybe you have a specialty where you can teach a certain sport. I've seen somebody create a course on an equestrian course, so a course about horses and teaching your horse how to compete. And it's so crazy, like the different types of things. And so the point is, the bigger the pain point is and whatever it is you're trying to solve, the more profit you will make. So for example, even going back to e-com, when I was doing e-com, the most money I made was with my baby store. I had a baby product store, and that was my most profitable online store for e-com, because there's new moms are always going to be there, like forever in time. Moms and families, they'll continue to be pregnant, and there will always be new babies and members of the family. And so this is why my store was a winning store, was because number one, baby products will always be on demand. So I sold some stuff like a 6-in-1 baby carrier, where it was this cool baby carrier. You can like carry the baby, you can carry different things in the carrier. And it was cool because it took away the lower back pain, because there was like this strap on the hips. But the point is, it solved a problem. And so definitely the more niche specific you are, the more money you will make. And so of course, the next step into all this is choosing that vehicle that's going to make you money, or your business. What is it you're going to do? And for this topic, I'm going to use the example of being a creator, because believe it or not, this is the fastest type of growing small business in the world right now. Right now, according to recent data, there's over 50 million content creators who consider themselves, this is their business, right? This is the way that they're making money. And this is really actually awesome, right? Because those days of a decade ago are over, where you had to be famous to make some legit money on YouTube, like a Logan Paul, like a Lily Singh, like, and these people started from the bottom, right? And so I guess the point is, normal people, me and you, people working the 9-to-5, anyone could, tap into this billion-dollar creator economy and make some money. Because when people think about YouTubers and TikTokers, they think like, oh, okay, it's like entertainment. Like I have to entertain, or I have to be funny, or I have to make vlogs or these super cinematic videos to make any type of money. It's like, no. Businesses are leveraging the YouTube platform and these social media platforms with video to create some really good money for their businesses. And it's interesting because somebody asked me the other day, Marissa, do you have any investments or income streams that aren't related to creating content? And I really had to think about it. I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I think most of them are related to creating content, which is crazy because I couldn't fathom, like back in 2015, back when I was an engineer, I couldn't fathom the thought of making money from the content that I was putting out there. Okay, it was crazy. I had no clue what that even looked like. And so now it's really fun to be able to help people do this and to create the business and lifestyle of their dreams, become location independent, be able to travel the world with just being able to produce content. And the key to all this, and that's why, again, I'm excited to announce the BizTuber course, is because that maps out exactly the profitable lane that you stay in and the profitable way to create an online business by leveraging the YouTube platform. This is what I wish I would have known when I first got started, because it's interesting. In the beginning, I actually got started with YouTube. I got started building my YouTube channel, and I'm like, oh man, I'm only getting like 10 views. Like, this is really hard. So I quit YouTube a couple of times actually. And it's interesting now, explaining to you guys how it works, because like, man, if I would have just kept going, who knows how big my channel would have been. I would have had maybe 500,000 subscribers or more than that by now. So whatever business model you choose, stick to it, okay? It's either gonna work or it's not. Big surprise, right? But you have to have confidence in yourself and stick to one thing, because everything works, as I mentioned in the beginning. And so if you are interested in taking advantage of this billion-dollar creator economy and creating a profitable online business and making money leveraging YouTube, go ahead and check out the BizTuber course today. Remember, it is the very last day to get 15% off of the already like super affordable price. And today really is the last day. You'll see on the page, there's a countdown timer until tomorrow to where it goes back up to regular price. So definitely don't miss out. I'd love to see you in the course. And so I just wanted to emphasize, definitely go hard on whatever business model that you are choosing first. All right, so if you're still here and you made it this far, let's continue the fun. Let's continue learning and growing together. Let's check out this tutorial coming up next about creating massive passive income shortly, within a short amount of time, and how it is done. So let's check that out. Click right here. We'll see you on that video. Imagine planting little money trees online. Now that is exactly what I'm going to be showing you in today's video, how to start and build your little sales tree